The wind carries secrets in the desert. Ancient whispers, older than the sand itself, speak of a terror that walks among us. Not ghost, not monster, but something far more insidious. Something that wears the skin of the innocent. Tonight, we journey into the heart of fear, to confront a legend so deeply rooted in the soil of the American Southwest that even uttering its name feels like an invitation. We speak of the Yinaldlishai, the Skinwalker. For centuries, the Navajo people have warned of these malevolent sorcerers, witches who have chosen a path of ultimate darkness, sacrificing their humanity to gain unspeakable power. Power to shed their human form, to become the beasts of the night, and to hunt. Imagine being miles from civilization, the only sound the crunch of tires on gravel, and then a presence. An unnatural stillness. The feeling of eyes watching you from the inky blackness beyond your headlights. This isn't just a campfire tale. For many, it's a living nightmare. The lore and the curse. To understand the Skinwalker, we must first understand the sacred traditions from which it deviates. The Navajo culture is rich with spiritual reverence for nature and community. But every light casts a shadow. The Skinwalker is not born, it is made. A practitioner of dark magic, often a medicine man or woman gone rogue, who commits unspeakable acts, a perversion of sacred rituals. The most common belief is that they must commit the ultimate taboo. Fratricide, the killing of a close family member. This act, they believe, solidifies their transformation. Once transformed, they gain terrifying abilities. They can wear the skins of animals, coyotes, wolves, bears, owls, perfectly mimicking their forms and sounds. But unlike mere animals, their eyes often glow with an unnatural intelligence, a malevolence that betrays the beast within. Some say they can even take human form, making them almost impossible to distinguish from a friend or a foe. Their purpose? To sow fear, cause misfortune, and sometimes to kill. They are said to possess incredible speed, strength, and the ability to curse their victims. They can peer into your thoughts, manipulate your dreams, and even afflict you with illness. The fear they inspire is not just supernatural, it's deeply psychological. But the ultimate terror isn't just their power, it's their method. They hunt. Chilling encounters. Now, let's turn from legend to the unsettling accounts of those who claim to have come face to face with the Skinwalker. These are not mere ghost stories. These are testimonies from people living in regions where the legend is a very real, very present fear. Consider the chilling account from a rancher in Arizona. We'll call him Thomas. Thomas had lived his entire life on the Navajo Nation, accustomed to the sounds of the desert. But one night, a sound broke the familiar silence. A peculiar mix of human laughter and a coyote's howl, echoing from just beyond his fence line. He grabbed his rifle, cautious. He expected to see a coyote, maybe a pack. Instead, he saw a tall, gaunt figure, moving on all fours, impossibly fast. It had the body of a coyote, but its eyes glowed with an unnerving amber light. And then it stood. On two legs, it was far too tall for any animal. It stared directly at his house, unblinking. Thomas knew, with a primal certainty that chilled him to the bone, that this was no ordinary creature. It was watching him. He fired a warning shot into the air. The creature simply turned its head, a silent, predatory assessment, before melting back into the darkness, leaving behind an oppressive silence. Thomas locked his doors, loaded his rifle, and didn't sleep a wink that night. He recounts strange scratching sounds on his roof, eerie whistles outside his windows. He left the area shortly after, forever marked by what he saw. Another story comes from a group of friends camping near Shiprock. They'd heard the stories, but dismissed them as local folklore. Until one of them, hiking alone, returned visibly shaken, refusing to speak. Days later, he confided in his closest friend. He'd seen a deer, frozen, staring at him from the tree line. But as he approached, it slowly, unnaturally, lifted its head. Its eyes were entirely human. And it smiled. The smile wasn't one of an animal. It was a predatory, knowing grin. It turned and fled not like a deer, but with a strange, loping gait that seemed too fast, too fluid. The friend was convinced it was attempting to lure him deeper into the wilderness. He managed to escape, but the image of those human eyes in a deer's head would haunt him forever. These accounts, and countless others, paint a terrifying picture. Witnesses often describe an unholy fusion, animalistic features combined with disturbing human intelligence. The feeling of being watched, manipulated, and toyed with. The sheer malice emanating from these entities. Protecting yourself and warnings. So, if these creatures are real, how do you protect yourself? The Navajo people have specific beliefs and rituals to ward off skinwalkers, and understanding them is crucial, not just for protection, but for respecting the depth of this cultural fear. First, never invite them in. Their power is often limited to observation and manipulation from a distance. If you hear scratching at your door, strange whispers, or animalistic sounds that feel wrong, do not open it and do not acknowledge it. To invite them in, even inadvertently, is to give them power. They are said to be attracted to fear, to negativity. Maintaining a strong spirit, avoiding fear, and staying positive are often cited as spiritual deterrents. But physical deterrents are also advised. Silver is believed to be harmful to them, as are specific plants like juniper and cedar, often used in protective ceremonies. Perhaps the most potent defense, however, is a deeper understanding of their true nature. The Skinwalker is not just a monster, it is a human who has corrupted themselves. They seek to break taboos, and some believe that to know their human name, to identify them as the individual they once were, can strip them of their power. But beware! Attempting to harm a skinwalker is incredibly dangerous. If you engage, you risk becoming their next victim, or worse, inviting a curse upon yourself and your family. The advice is always to avoid, deter, and if possible, retreat. Never engage directly. The warnings are clear. Respect the land, respect the lore, and never provoke the unseen. The unanswered questions and the lingering threat. So, are skinwalkers real? Science dismisses them as folklore, a product of superstition. But for those who live in the shadows of their legend, and for those who have experienced unexplained phenomena, the question isn't academic. It's a matter of survival. What explains the consistency of these accounts across different families, different generations? Why do so many claim to have witnessed these impossible transformations, these acts of malevolence? Is it mass hysteria, cultural fear manifesting as hallucination, or something far more terrifying? The Skinwalker legend reminds us that there are ancient evils, primal fears that modern society struggles to explain. They exist on the fringes, in the desolate landscapes, and sometimes, perhaps, even closer than we dare to imagine. The desert holds its secrets close. But sometimes, when the moon is high, and the wind whispers just so, you might just hear the hunting call of something that wears a skin it didn't earn. And you'll wonder if you're next. Have you ever felt watched in the wilderness? Have you heard whispers on the wind that weren't the wind at all? Share your experiences in the comments below. And if you dare to delve deeper into the shadows, subscribe to our channel for more chilling explorations of the unknown.